Okay, you guys find the presentation under today's date?
Yep.
Sounds good. Today we are talking about the basics of arguments. What does argument mean?
Something you were discussing about and trying to prove a point.
Really? Because I thought it's like when my kids are fighting over one toy and they're yelling at each other and it turns into like fist fights. It's mine! That's exactly what they say. Or when they both have a blue sucker and the one that has the blue sucker wants the other kid's blue sucker. That's pretty much what happens at my house. That's mine!
Do they speak it in Chinese?
What?
Do they speak it in Chinese?
Half.
Wait, can they speak Chinese?
Yeah.
So do they yell at each other in Chinese?
Okay, so for reals, what is argument?
Something to you disagree with and trying to down.
What did I
Okay.
just say?
Do you know what debate is?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
If you're debating with somebody and you're trying to present an argument, what are you really trying to do?
Like trying to prove how you're
Okay, trying to prove something, okay?
Prove your point.
And if you think about reading and writing, there's really nothing more important than doing that, right? Otherwise, what's the point of writing anything? Unless you're writing about the girl that Marcos likes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she's dating
Or
someone.
Cam, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Who is it, Marcos? Who's that secret crush that you write about?
What?
a girl.
I
It's a
don't know.
girlfriend.
Okay.
Obviously not.
So an argument is when you're trying to make a point. If you just say that you're the best basketball player in the world, which that's
Then-
clearly
then you need
me,
to prove that point as a fact.
if you don't have any evidence, you can't really just say things.
Well,
Well, I guess you can, but it won't make any sense. What's that?
You could be the best.
I'm not.
How did you?
But I can say that, but I've never really beat like Michael Jordan before, you know? So,
That's how you're the best.
have you guys ever seen that basketball player, the professor?
Yep. He's really good.
He's pretty cool, yeah.
He's-
He's just a white guy that travels around and lets people challenge him. And he like fools them.
Fall down. He's white.
He's white.
Yeah.
He's pretty short too.
All right.
He's like-
Okay, this good thinker understands what it means to make a point. So we might call that our main idea, right? Nothing really new today, apart from supporting what we've been learning the last 9 weeks. A good thinker understands what it means to support a point. So we talked about the tabletop analogy. If the table didn't have any legs, the table would not stand, right? Can we agree on that? So when making a point, you have to have support, or there is no argument.
I mean, a table could stand on just one or two legs.
It would just be laying on the ground.
Basically, no.
What?
It's called magic.
Or it can be
Oh my.
Mr. Fluidity.
What?
Okay, so how about
Or it's
this
called
is kind
illusion.
of like a question. Like you said that without the legs of the table, it can't stand.
Right.
What
That's
if
the
it
support
floats?
in a paragraph. What?
What if it
What if it
floats?
floats? And it floats. Will it still stand?
Then it wouldn't be standing. Ha
I got you.
It'd be floating.
What if it only appears like two legs, but it's probably four, but you can't see it because it's an illusion.
Still has to have legs to stand.
What if it's a table connected to the wall?
Exactly.
That's not standing. That's being supported by the wall, being connected to the wall. Right? I don't know.
Well, okay, I got one. Okay.
Really?
What if you remove all the legs and just two people run?
That's not standing.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. That's being held up by two people. Okay, here we go. I like this cartoon. So you don't laugh at this because I don't know. You're lame. I'm out in the fresh air and sunshine. My legs are getting plenty of exercise, and I'm consuming a leafy vegetable.
You mean my lungs?
This has to be good for me.
You mean lungs?
Bugs. What did I say?
Legs.
Oh, dang it. Bugs. You guys tripped me up.
Lungs.
I didn't even trip you up.
Yeah, you
didn't
did.
say anything about legs.
Well, we were talking about legs for the table.
Oh, yeah. You were not talking about legs.
Okay,
Put your legs.
what is the man's argument here? What is his point?
His point is
That he needs
Wait, what?
fresh air.
Be healthy.
Who are we talking about? The girl or
That
the
he's a
guy?
healthy person, even
The
if he
guy
was
is the one
smoking.
talking.
That he's
Yeah.
outside, he's getting all that
Well, I mean,
What's his
isn't,
point?
isn't the girl smoking? Isn't she the one smoking?
No,
The guy is talking. He's got his mouth open. What is she talking with a cigarette in her mouth?
You can do that.
That's rude.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the man's point?
Oh, isn't that being sarcastic? Because she's smoking and then like.
Well, based on that evidence, what is he trying to say?
That smoking is bad.
That smoking is
Yeah, yeah.
good for you,
Well, I mean, some people say
right?
it's
Isn't
good.
that what he's saying?
Yeah, but
Okay, isn't he saying that smoking is good for you?
Like,
kind of.
because he's saying he's
He
out in the
is,
sunshine.
okay? Because you know how I know it? He's saying that because that's what I put on the slide for you to learn, okay? So the man's point is that smoking is good for him. What's the evidence or is the support? What's one reason why smoking is good for you,
I'm out in the fresh.
according to him?
Because you're out in the fresh air.
Okay, you're on the fresh air. That seems like a good thing, right? That's being healthy.
You're getting plenty of exercise.
In the sunshine.
Okay, well, how is he getting exercise?
By sucking
and
in.
standing up. That's how.
It's
No,
working
that's not
as well.
exercise.
And
He's
trying
trying
to
to
use
smoke.
His lungs, he's
Inhale.
breathing in heavy, right? Okay. It's lungs too, it's not legs, like what you guys thought I said. And the last one is what?
Consuming a leafy vegetable.
Okay, a leafy vegetable is tobacco, which is green, right? But when you dry it out, it turns brown. Okay. The support we got is those three things. However, the supporting reasons are not convincing ones. He is outside in the fresh air, but putting cigarette smoke into his lungs. His lungs are not getting a healthy workout, and tobacco is not a leafy vegetable.
I mean,
So yes, is he being sarcastic? Well, that's the point of a joke, right? Okay. It's a cartoon. But still, there's support. To make a good argument and prove a point, you must offer solid support. Evaluating arguments. Do you know what it means to evaluate something?
Look over.
Okay, yes. And decide if it's good or bad. Okay? So when a teacher evaluates your test,
Then
she's giving you a grade, right? It's an A, B, C, D, or F. So an argument, so we're looking at, is this argument good? Does it have enough evidence for it? A critical thinker is someone who can look at an argument, a point, and its support, and decide whether the support is solid or not. Below is a point and a set of details. Do the details support the points? Roxana, you want to read the points?
In the field, you have to put up with rude adults and crying children. At home, you can pause a movie when you want to leave the room. It's great to watch movies in your pajamas while sitting in your favorite chair.
Okay. I wanted you to read the point, but you read it all. So, haha, I tricked you into that. Okay, so it's asking us if the details support the point. So the point is it's more fun to watch movies at home than in a theater. What do you say?
What?
So when you're in a theater, you have to put up with rude adults and crying children. I don't know if I told you before, but if you've ever been to a movie theater in another country,
Oh.
you ever done that? Anybody?
no.
Okay, well, I'll explain to you what it's like in China. I don't know if you've been to a movie theater in Mexico. Roxanne, you can tell us your experiences for that. But in China, this is no lie. There's like, first of all, like a mess everywhere. And then people are like on their phone, like having business conversations, like, hey, what's up? Like in the middle of the movie. Their kids are running up and down the halls, the aisles. I'm not joking at all. People don't even like silence their ringer. It's like burping out loud and they're so it's kind of annoying. So that first statement, when you're in a theater, you have to put up with rude adults and crying children. Right? That's exactly what I thought of as going to the movies in China. All right. At home, you can pause a movie when you want to leave the room. It's great to watch movies in your pajamas while sitting in your favorite chair. So,
I mean, you could put pajamas on.
do all three of those things support that it's better or more fun to watch movies at home than in a theater? Yeah, they do. The details do provide solid support for the point. They give us a basis for understanding and agreeing with the point that watching movies at home has its own special appeal. This is a small example of what critical thinking is about, recognizing a point. So when we figure out what that main idea is, and decide whether there is support that effectively backs up the point. So do all these things support it? Is that enough to prove it? That's where you evaluate the argument. Okay, point and support. So we know how to find the main idea. We've looked at all those signal words and list words for finding the major details and the minor details, right? So we have all the skills to pay the bills, like I like to say, or the skills to find those things. As you learned earlier in the book, a point is a general idea. Support is the specific information that backs up the point. So again, the point is main idea. Support is that supporting details. This group of items is made up of a point and three statements that logically support the point. Which statement is supported by the other three? In other words, which statement is the point? All right, Jasmine, you read A, B, C, D.
A 6-foot snapping turtle lives on Lake. Rattlesnakes have nests on the shoreline and only swim in lake. Someone dumped
Scrap.
scrap metal in the lake, and you cut yourself badly. You should not go swimming in the lake.
Before I forget, what you may want to do is pull up your fluency list. Let me see if I can find mine. I know I made one. Okay, pull up your old fluency list.
I know what it is.
Yep, here's the one that I started on today. Okay. So pull up your one from last quarter. And then you need to do this. Remember, to only work on things so this, just follow along if you're going to have your Chromebook open. And then change the copy of, it should still be your last name, first name. And then you can, I have it as S1 originally. You can call it S1 quarter 2 or just like quarter 2 if you want. Make sure it's in that folder. And what you also need to do is to delete the old entries, okay? You don't need pensive in there anymore. You won't be able to do more than a few boxes at a time, so just on your own, just kind of,
Wait, how many we did we need?
Wait, can't we just
we're starting a new one,
We are?
okay? So you don't really need the pensive or the examples anymore. I think that makes sense on how to do it. So you should have it blank. If you try to select the whole thing, I found it just deletes all the boxes. So just do a few lines at a time and then you'll be fine, okay? So I wrote down a number of words over here that my first hour struggled with. And the first one is scrap. So I'm just going to model that that's not to pick on anybody. Just going to model on how to do this, right? So I'm going to put the word over here. And then you're going to look for a picture. Okay. Oh yeah.
What is it? I
Um,
don't understand.
well, do you know who that is?
No.
Language.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
She skipped second hour chemistry.
Okay.
She was found in the breakout area, and she was wrote up for major referral by the school.
Okay. Now I
So now
understand.
you call home and
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
That's
Okay, I got a picture. Don't know where my document went. Putting that. Okay. Oh. Close this one. Again, you look for a picture that helps you understand the meaning. So before, the words together were scrap metal. So if I looked for a picture first and I found that one, it actually made enough sense for me to just grab scrap metal. And then you can go to this learner's dictionary. You wouldn't have to put in both words. Scrap. A very small amount, usually used in negative statements. Pieces of food, I'm good with that. So just a very small amount. That makes sense to me. And then you need to write a sentence of 10 words or more or 3 examples. I'll do both, okay? Upon entering Preston's room, I noticed many scraps scattered throughout, including but not limited to gum wrappers. Test, right? Candy wrappers.
Is this in its learning or do
You just pull up your old fluency list.
Wait, do we have to do that work?
No?
we just do our
I'm
own
just
thing?
modeling. Yep, you always do your own words. Just modeling on how to do this so that you guys all do it the same. Okay? Candy wrappers and broken and how about pieces of wood? Yeah. Yes. Okay? You could do that, so that's writing a sentence, or you could do examples. So scraps of food, scraps of metal, scraps of wood. Okay? Just to cement in your brain what scraps are, or that word is. Then you're going to do that. We should have about 45 words for this quarter. I may end up doing a little less, but you can just kind of plan on that amount. And then I'll also be having you practice your vocabulary.com list. So anyway, you want to start that, as you might grab some of these words from our lesson today. Okay? All right, a little timeout to get that. So you should have a new fluency list set up now. Are we good? Okay. Okay, A, B, and C all describe. Oh, we don't want to. I guess I've given you the answer anyway. That's all right. They all describe specific dangers of swimming in the lake. Point D, they should not swim in the lake, is the point that all the other sentences support. So these are all reasons why you should not go swimming in the lake. Okay, logical support. Once you identify a point and its support, you need to decide if the support really applies to the point. The critical thinker will ask, is this support logical? Logical means like makes sense, right? Relevant means it's about that thing or it's related to it. Okay, it's on the same topic or it points to it. That's relevant. Or is it beside the point? Like, as I'll show you some examples of things that are beside the point. They're not about the point. Okay. In trying to make a point, people often bring up support that does not apply, that's not about that topic. For example, say that a person claims that the people in the apartment next door are bad neighbors. Okay, that's our main point. To support that point, the person might say they play loud music at night. They play loud music at night. Does that support the fact that they are bad neighbors? Don't think so? I think it does. I mean, if you're a bad neighbor and you're keeping everybody up late at night playing loud music, I think that means you're a bad neighbor, don't you? Okay. How about in addition they drive an old car? What about that one? Huh? Nope. So I drive kind of an old car. It's a 2005 Dodge Dakota. It's got some rust on it. It's not that great. Does that make me a bad neighbor?
No.
No. But if that vehicle, if I played loud music, if I had like a muffler and I like revved my engine in the middle of the night and it was really loud, then maybe. It doesn't say that though, right? So if you wanted to describe that old car, then you'd have to add those details in there to give it support. Okay, a critical thinker will realize that playing loud music late at night may make them bad neighbors. Driving an old car does not make them bad neighbors. Driving an old car has nothing to do with whether or not they're bad neighbors, okay? So if you want to describe their lifestyle, well, that still doesn't support your point that they're bad neighbors. Okay. The first reason for disliking people next door is relevance. So that means it's about it, right? It pertains to it. It points to the point. But the second reason is beside the point. It's not about that. All right, let's go on to the next one. Read the point and 3 items of support below. Then choose the item that provides logical support. So support that makes sense. Okay? Why don't you read just letter A there, Cam?
Her lectures are always well prepared. She always follows her class syllabus. When asked a question in class, she answers promptly Is co-written a textbook on the subject that she's teaching?
Okay, for a couple of words in there, and as another example, did I just close that? Maybe I did. The syllabus, okay? What is a syllabus? You probably received one of those in one of your classes, and they should have called it a syllabus. What is it? It's basically a plan for a class, okay? So what do you need to do to get an A, B, or a C? How much of your grade is based on tests? That's like 80% of my class is based on tests. Or like what you will study when. So it might give you a list of the topics or books I'll be studying in the course. And then I gave you an example over here. Mr. Clenning's course, syllabus for content reading strategies, outlines due dates, assigned readings, and how grades are calculated. Course syllabus for a high school class. I could do examples. Course syllabus that tells due dates for a college class, or syllabus that explains grading for an online class. Okay? So again, that's what a syllabus is. Maybe you didn't know that particular word. Other words that might have tripped you out there in there are, it's like the word co-written. What's co-written?
Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like you helped write it or whatever.
Okay. When we see, think of the word like cooperate, right? When you cooperate, you're co-operate. Operate means to do work, okay? Or to make something function. If you cooperate, you're working with somebody, right? When you see co at the beginning of a word, that means to do with. So if it was co-written, what does that mean?
You written with
It was written with somebody. Very good. Okay, so it wasn't one author, but at least two authors. Okay. All right. How about letter B, Nietzsche?
She's lots of fun in class, always joking around and making wisecracks. On Halloween, she came in dressed as a witch. Once she handed out test booklets that said inside April Fool.
Okay. Letter C, Suki.
She has a one-on-one interview with each student at least twice a year. She makes a point of knowing their families and often asks how their parents or siblings are doing. If a student is having a special problem, she often visits him or her at home.
Okay, if our point was she's a great teacher, maybe all three of those, right? She's funny, she's really organized, and she really cares about her students, maybe. But what one of those pertains to our point that teacher takes a personal interest in her students? A, B, or C?
probably B.
B? So she has lots of fun in class, joking around and making wisecracks. Does that show that she takes a personal interest? Do you know what it means to take a personal interest? Yeah?
I think it's
Think it's C? So to take a personal interest means, I might ask Roxanne, how you doing today? Right? Or I might call home and see if I notice Roxanne is having a bad day and see if something's going on at home. Right? That's taking a personal interest. So letter C, Marco said, she has a one-on-one interview with each student. That's showing personal interest. Makes a point of knowing their families. And if they have a problem, she even visits him or her at home. Okay? A, no. She might be a skilled teacher, but that doesn't show she is showing a personal interest. B is just entertaining, right? She's cheerful, fun-loving, but there's nothing to do with taking a personal interest. It's not logical support. Letter C, described here, clearly goes out of her way to establish and maintain a personal connection to each of her students. This does provide logical support. All right, part 2 for logical support. Below is a point followed by 5 statements. 3 of the statements logically support the point. 2 of the statements do not. Choose the 3 logical statements of support. Okay. The point is those parents are careless about their child's health and safety. Marcos, want to read the A, B, C, D, E?
sure.
Thank you.
A, they leave him alone. They leave him alone in the house at night, sometimes not returning at all. B, they drop him off at home with people they barely know and disappear for days. C, they rarely take him to see the doctor or dentist. D, they never check to see if he has done his homework. E, D, they do not allow him to have any pets.
Okay, what is the point? Those parents are careless. Careless means they don't care, right? Or sloppy, right? They're not real concerned about their child's health and safety. So they don't care about health and safety for their kid. That's the point. How about letter A? They leave him alone in the house at night, sometimes not returning at all. Does that prove that they are careless about the child's health and safety?
Yes.
You betcha. Okay? So yes, it does. How about letter B? They drop him off at the home of people they barely know, then disappear for days.
Yes.
You betcha. See? They rarely take him to see the doctor or dentist.
Yep.
Yes.
You betcha. Why? Because if they didn't care about their health and safety or health, they wouldn't take him, right? If they did care, they'd be like, oh, he might be sick, blah, blah, blah. So take him to the doctor. How about letter D?
No.
They never check to see if he has done his homework.
No.
Okay, now that might be a sign that they're not very good parents, right?
But they're
Or they don't care about it, but it's not about what?
Health or safety.
Health and safety, right? You could be perfectly healthy and safe and never do your homework in your life. Yes? Okay. Letter E, they do not allow him to have any pets.
No.
No. That actually might be the opposite, right? Because maybe the kid's allergic to the pets. In fact, pets cause more problems probably than they help, right? I don't know. But maybe he really wants a pet, and so the pet could actually protect the home too, right? So there's kind of two sides. All right. You're right. A, B, and C all support. D and E have nothing to do with health or safety. All right. Point, these parents are careless about their child's health and safety. All three of those are great support. All right, a logical point, a point that makes sense. The skill of coming to a logical conclusion is an important part of good thinking. Read the three items of support below. This one's kind of tricky now. Then choose the point that is logically supported by the evidence. I don't know who I didn't pick on yet. Maybe Preston? Why don't you read the support statements?
Although the boss gives very unclear directions for what he wants, he is furious if the job isn't done exactly as he intended. The boss has hired his lazy, incomplete niece, and no one is allowed to complain about anything she does. The boss takes 2-hour lunches, while no one else is allowed to have more than half an hour.
Okay, Roxanne, you want to read the 4 options for point?
The boss is supportive of his family members. All bosses have their own good and bad points. The boss does not care if his business
Succeeds.
or fails. The boss is an unpleasant person to work for.
Okay, I highlighted a couple words in there. I don't know about unpleasant, if you guys don't know that one or not. Do you know unpleasant?
Not very pleasant.
Okay, pleasant meaning very nice, right? Okay.
I know what it means. I just
All right. And one of the words in there that you probably don't know is incompetent. So you could put that on your fluency list. Again, you don't have to find all the pictures and stuff right now, but just put it in your list as a word you don't know, right? In almost always means not when it's at the beginning of a word. There are some exceptions like income. That does not mean not in this case. But this word incompetent. Okay, so it's not competent, first of all. What do you think competent might mean?
Necessary? I
Does it not necessary or
No?
just not shown?
don't know. Patient?
Okay, well, let's think about the word compete. What does compete mean?
Go against.
Okay, you go against something. Now, if you compete in a sporting event,
You're gonna have to be good at it.
you're going to probably be pretty good at it, right? Exactly.
You don't have the necessary skills to. then
Okay.
you compete.
That's exactly what Marco said. Can you say that again?
If you don't have the necessary skills to compete.
Okay, if you don't have the necessary skills to compete, that's incompetence. Competent, you can say, it means you do have the necessary skills to compete or do well. So think about if you're incompetent at your job, you're not made for that job. You can't do it. You're not good, right? You're not good at it, etc. All right. So we got that one nailed down just through logic and context clues and breaking apart the word. Nice job. And other words in there? I don't think there's anything else in there except for maybe furious. You think you know. Very angry, right? Okay. Incompetent, we're good. Okay, out of those 4 choices, so we have the support. That's definitely going to be our support. Of these 4, let's start with the boss is supportive of his family members.
It doesn't say anything about it.
Well, the only part it does is it's
Niece.
he hired his lazy niece, but that's only one thing, right? Out of the 3, that's not enough. All bosses have their good and bad points. What do you think about that one?
Some bosses just are playing with the world.
Okay, what about the support here? I'm not talking about some bosses. I'm talking about what does this support?
He's mean because the boss takes 2-hour lunches while no one else is on.
Okay, so that's a bad point. Does anyone say anything about him being good?
Nope.
So then we can't really say good points, right? Okay, that one's gone.
So D.
The boss does not care if his business succeeds or fails. Now it gets down to 2 that might be kind of hard. What do you think about letter C?
I mean, it does say that.
Although the boss gives unclear direction for what he wants, he is serious if the job isn't done exactly. So I mean, he would care.
Okay, yeah, if he gets angry that something is not done the way he likes, that actually does mean he cares, right? The rest of it, actually, I could probably make an argument for that.
So,
But I think D, the boss is an unpleasant person to work for, right? He's yelling at people, he's making unfair rules, and he made bad decisions, okay? And doesn't allow people to complain about. Okay, nice job. I think that one's tricky though. A lot of people get getting hung up on his business succeeds or fails. Okay, the fact that the boss becomes furious if a job isn't done exactly as he intended indicates that he cares whether his business succeeds or fails. You should not have chosen this point. All the details support the statement that the boss is an unpleasant person to work for. It is the one you should have chosen at this point. Okay. Review. In this chapter, you learn the following. A good argument is made up of a point or a conclusion and evidence to back it up. To think through an argument, you need to decide if each bit of evidence is relevant. What does relevant mean?
not necessary.
No. If it's relevant, what does that mean?
Like, no, like,
It's not about necessary or not. Huh?
like,
Important's a pretty good word. Okay?
relevant.
Even though
like,
it's kind of the same as necessary.
Like, you know,
It means it's
Appropriate.
related,
That's what I said.
appropriate. Oh, you did? I didn't hear that. Then about that point, okay, it's related to it. Notice relevant and related start the same. That's an easier to remember. It's related. Logical means it makes sense, right? Sound thinking also includes looking at evidence. Evidences that support. Deciding what logical point or conclusion can be drawn from that evidence. So we can look at the evidence and see what the point is too. Okay. Okay, that is it for the information.